Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Sign up for PrizePicks today with the promo code Leading Off. It's me, Joey P, Joe Pizzapia. That, of course, is the Welsh. And today we're going to recap everything that happened last night in Major League Baseball. Look ahead in today's games. Major League Baseball got a double header as well. So that'll be a fun time. We love the double dip. Always a good time with baseball. Welsh, I don't know if you've ever been to a double header. I like the ones where you can just go and you get to go to both games. You just sit there for 18 innings or whatever it ends up becoming, and you're just there for the duration. We used to do that in Philly in the Vet because back in the day that nobody cared. It was such a big ballpark. They're like, hey, you want to show up for one? God bless you. Just stick around for the second one. Have you ever been to two games in a doubleheader?
Not in a traditional baseball sense, like, two Diamondback games back to back or something, but I have 1000% done it from a minor league perspective. I've gone back to back to back. Actually, I've done in days. And one of my most fond memories was during COVID, back in COVID, which most people don't have fond memories. Me and Bogman did a game where we saw Ohtani pitch with the Diamondbacks, and then we cruised on over, or maybe this was pre-COVID, and we got to see Spencer Torkelson play with ASU on a very cold night. So we went spring training to college baseball. Doubleheader stuff is fun. I've just actually never done it in like the traditional one, which I should.
Yes, I remember it was in the, I would say, late 90s. My friends and I, it was Mets-Phillies double dip at the Vet. And certainly we were yelling some funny things at Butch Husky. That's what we were yelling. We were Butch. We loved Butch Husky that night. We had plenty of alcohol, and we were not taunting or trolling him. We loved him. We were yelling positive things. That's what
that was actually going to be my question. There is, what is your level of troll at a game? Because obviously we don't particularly love being trolled out into the world, but you got to troll a little bit. You got to drink in you or two. Do you have a player or two that you have not mean, but you have trolled? Because I have two players that I've ever really trolled.
That's an interesting question. Honestly, no. Like my friends and I used to go there, and we would kind of absurdly root for certain people instead.
Okay,
so it's like
I would
an anti-troll thing. And
Yeah.
I'm not a big drinking at the game person. Like I'm a helmet Sunday guy, but I'm not a big like let's get hammered at the ball game guy. I never was, just still not. I do need my ice cream in the helmet. That I definitely always needed. But it's a good question there to ask. I see a lot of good questions in the chat. So let's get after some baseball here, and let's start with the inevitable Jacob deGrom conversation. So here we go. He exited the fourth inning yesterday. The no-hitter was intact in the fourth inning when he left. So he was lifted from the game. There was a wrist issue going on where he felt it when he was warming up, and then it got progressively worse, and he was trying to be proactive and saying, okay, instead of me pitching through this, I'm going to pull myself out of this game and get evaluated, and hopefully it's not a big thing. So he didn't want to alter his mechanics, which I appreciate. He didn't want to push further injury, which I appreciate. So now we're in the waiting period with Jacob deGrom, and I'm not doing victory laps today because nobody wants to see Jacob deGrom hurt. I don't want to see Jacob deGrom hurt. I want to see him healthy and pitching. I just decided that the fifth overall pitcher on the board was not a price I was willing to pay for him because of these issues that typically always stem. So Jacob deGrom, you and I were talking about this before the show today.
Yeah.
You made an excellent point, which is this is what you signed up for. It's happening. You have to know this. So now it's just a matter of what it is and how long it is.
Yeah, that's 100%. So like, it's the most Jacob deGrom thing you could have. He was phenomenal. Perfect. No hit. This is just perfect early. Perfect. No hits. And then he comes out with an injury. But yeah, that's what I said to you. I said, there are people out there that are like, here we go. It's Jacob deGrom. And it's like, okay, yeah, there's a little bit of here we go here. I like that he was proactive about something, but I'm going to chalk this up, at least at this moment, to this is what you got into. He was projected across the board for 160 or so innings, or 150. So where were those going to come from? Where were the starts going to come out from? This is part of that. This is part of the worry, the frailness apparently that comes with him. So I'm not going to, so everyone's like, oh, should we panic? Should we panic? No, I don't think so. We knew he was going to miss some time. I'll tell you right now, I think he's going on the IL. Even if this is not serious, I think they have babied him every step of the way from spring training on. I think they'll put him on the IL. They'll let him kind of rest it so they don't have any worry about it. And that's what it'll go. And we'll chalk it up as part of what you paid for Jacob deGrom. Now, if he's out for the season, all right, Joe.
Oh no,
I don't know what to say, Joe.
I don't think that's gonna. I mean, what would the wrist be to be out for the season? Like that's the thing. It's not a shoulder. It's not a knee. It's not an elbow. The wrist is not one we see or hear of very often. Of like, oh,
I mean, there could be like some hairline
it could be a tendon in there. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, man. All I know is it's disappointing. It's the 18th of April, and he's coming out of a game which he's pitching a no-hitter, and I think that is the ultimate Jacob deGrom picture, if you will, because that's Jacob deGrom. He is perfection. He is this guy who is unhittable, the best pitcher in baseball, but he can't actually do his job and pitch. And people mocked me last year. I said maybe he should be a closer, but maybe he should. I mean, maybe the grind of whatever it is his body can't handle, the amount of pitches, the amount of warm-ups, whatever it takes for him to do. And I don't know if that's better or worse. I'm just throwing it out there as an option because I saw when John Smoltz came back from his Tommy John surgery and had issues that going to the closer role was something that was good for him and it revitalized his career. And then actually he made starts later on in his career after his body seemed to catch up. I don't know. I just don't know at this point with Jacob deGrom, and that unknown frustrated me that there was no discount on the unknown, that everybody just said, nope, we're going balls to the wall again. He's the 5th overall pitcher. And maybe this is nothing and he misses a start, or maybe this is something he misses 3 months, but that's the Jacob deGrom risk you have assumed. And it's a really frustrating one in my opinion.
Yeah. The only problem is what you saw out of him in that start. He was no hitting. That's the problem. I mean, that's
but it's always the case. It's never, he's bad. He's never bad. Like, when is he bad?
Yeah, well, it's just bad when he's sitting, at home or sitting on the bench.
By the way, Trent agrees. Helmet ice cream is a must. It's another thing that you could chalk up to why Oakland is a terrible place to watch a baseball game. They don't have helmet Sundays. I've been there. It's a dump. That place is the biggest dump I've ever seen of all the dumps in any professional sports, whatever. And they don't have helmet Sundays. I mean, get out of here with that nonsense. It's crazy. All right, so we await to hear more news on Jacob deGrom. When we have more news, we'll tell you. Make sure you have the FantasyPros news app so you can stay on top of all those things when they happen. Corbin Burns, so wasn't the only guy who got removed yesterday in terms of aces. Corbin Burns removed yesterday due to a left pectoral strain. So it says it's a relatively minor issue. That's what we're hearing. So more to come on this one. But, aces are dropping like flies, which is why when Taj Bradley comes up on the old waiver wire, I'm going to be super aggressive because you just don't know how long these guys are going to last. Continuing on with some of the news from yesterday, Cody Bellinger on fire right now. His Baseball Savant page is odd. I don't know if you've seen it, Welsh. It's kind of all over the place. 5 for 5 yesterday. It was against the A's, so I'm going to roll my eyes a little bit.
I think it was his first career 5 for 5, by the way.
Look, 5 for 5 is a 5 for 5. I know it was against the A's, but whatever. But he's hitting .310 on the year, 18 for 58 with 3 homers, 10 ribbies, 3 steals, which is also something I don't know if we were expecting over his first 15 games. It's only 15 games, but what are your thoughts on this Cody Bellinger open to the season? Is it something you're trying to move him off of, or is it something you're saying, hey, maybe he's rediscovered himself a bit?
I'm taking advantage of selling off if people are buying. I'm not into it. I still don't buy it. Great that he's with the Cubs. Great that he's found a new stroke, but I believe it's too difficult to buy into, Joe. This would be a prime April sell-off at high. Maybe he levels out and is okay, but no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks.
Thanks, but no thanks. I think that's where I am too, because the Savant page is, like I said, all over the place. Like the deeper metrics, some are really good, some are really bad. I don't know what to think of it. I think that if you've got Bellinger that, 5 for 5, I mean, this is the peak. This is it. I don't think he's a 300 hitter. I think history's taught us that too. So I don't think there's some magical special sauce here. I think he's just been on a good run, and he's been a streaky player. Even in his very good years, he was a streaky player. I remember way back early on where people thought that he should be sent down to the minor leagues, and then he came back and he just had a rocket of 2 months for Cody Bellinger. And that's something that happens with him sometimes. So another things that happened as well, this is something that is fun. Zach Neto got his first major league hit yesterday, and he pulled his first Welshism. I was watching the post-game interview here, and
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I was watching that too.
Did you watch it? And did you?
I did.
It probably made sense in your language.
It did.
He's fluent in Welsh. Now, for people who don't know what a Welshism is, who might be new to the show, Welsh tends to either make up his own sayings or combine 2 different ones. And Mr. Neto did that yesterday. So here's what he said afterwards. He said, quote, "First hit was a real monkey off my shoulders." So there's no such thing as a monkey off your shoulders.
It's
either a weight.
That is the most Welshism of all time.
It is one of the most Welshisms ever. It's either a monkey off your back or a weight off your shoulders.
Say it again. Say it. What was it exactly?
The exact quote, and I quote, "This first hit was a real monkey off my shoulders." A monkey off his shoulders. Yeah, that was
good. It's
tremendously Welsh right there. I mean, I can't get better than that. Congratulations to Zach Neto for getting that first hit. Good on him. Fenway Park, a very memorable place to do it. But I saw that and I immediately looked up and went, "Oh my God, is Welsh on TV? Who just said that? What's going on there?"
I heard it. Yeah. I heard it, but I was just like, I just stumbled a little bit. Like I didn't think too much of it, but you're right. It's a total meism there. And by the way, I love Zach Neto. I still hold that he might be one of the better middle infield options. I know a lot of people paid for him in Fab and stuff, but him getting to lead off, I love his approach too. He's got the big high leg kick until he gets to 2 strikes where he kind of simmers everything down and goes for just a contact approach. I think, and he's also got the commitment. So the million questions we've seen, him or Julian, I would still go with Neto over Julian.
You know, the funny part is him, Volpe, Julian, all these guys leading off, which is fascinating. Yeah. You don't see that very often. Brett Beatty would think was an 8-hole yesterday when he came up. I don't expect him to be a leadoff guy, but it was kind of odd to get all these guys coming up and leading off. That's kind of fun. Lots of stuff going on here in the chat regarding the helmet Sundays and also Ballpark Food. Wonky says helmet ice cream is like nostalgia with a spoon. I agree. Now Matt Flood says helmet nachos are the bomb. I haven't done the helmet nachos yet.
Joe, on opening day when Bogman came and visited me, we both had helmet nachos, and they were like premium helmet. Take a guess at how much helmet nachos were.
$15.50.
A little bit higher.
Higher than okay. Well, you're keeping the helmet, right? So you got.
I didn't actually keep it, but yes.
But you get to keep the helmet, right? There's no like station where you bring. It's not like a helmet, but it's not really a good helmet. It's like this crappy generic one you throw out after.
Okay,
it's
the
like
chat's
Diamondback's
guessing.
helmet.
Guess what? The chat so far, you still haven't gotten the price. The Vapor said 20. JP said like
$25.50. No,
$28 for Nacho helmet is what it was at Chase Field. 28. Me and Bogman both got it, and we are dumber for it.
Wow. You know what? I'm okay with that. It's opening day. I'm okay with that. I think that's something you treat yourself to. It's opening day. I'm going to get. It might also, again, I love you both, but it could also be to share. Just saying, maybe not. You could have shared the nachos. No, you want different things on your nachos.
No, different things on our nachos, and I'm also not going to share nachos with someone else.
Let alone Bogman. All right, let's get to some other injuries here out there. Chris Taylor was removed from Monday's game against the Mets due to the left side discomfort. Hunter Green, a right tibia contusion, so he was hit by a comebacker there. Ahmed Rosario is going to be out till Friday, so you're not going to have him. And then a couple Yankees notes here too. Carlos Rodon faced hitters on Sunday in a 2-inning simulated game, so that's starting to move in the right direction. He was dealing with the elbow issue, but then he had a back issue crop up during that time, so it's been a little bit of a weird start. You're hoping here you get him by May. It seems like we're on track. If he's saying 2-inning simulated game now, I would think a couple days from now you're getting him into, starting to build up a little bit of innings. So that's a positive. But a negative, Giancarlo Stanton's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with the hamstring strain. Now, this is another guy, too, with every single year or something. So you know what you're getting into, but you're getting a discount on Stanton because of that. So the Yankees lineup, let's talk about it, what it looks like without Stanton in it, because I think it's a very different looking lineup these days. Torres coming off a good year, but you've seen Volpe struggle quite a bit here. You've seen, some other guys in this lineup kind of, just piecing it together. Judge is always Judge. So how important is this injury here to the Yankees, and who, if anybody, really benefits in terms of playing time?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Franchi Cordero is going to benefit. I think they might give Oswalt Peraza an opportunity to play a little bit. And I think Anthony Volpe benefits because he can continue hitting at the top of the lineup. And if his bat is struggling, it gives them a little bit more leeway to keep him in the lineup. So I think those are your biggest beneficiaries.
And Cousin Donnie and all other people saying men don't share helmet nachos. I mean, you can. You just have to find the right man to share them with, or woman to share them with. How big? So it was like, just to be clear, too, on the nacho situation here.
Yeah.
before we move on from this.
I have a
completely,
picture
and
of it. If you want to see it, by the way, online, I tweeted a picture of it, and people were aghast at how.
Well, I know they have them at City Field. I haven't had the nacho helmet. I mean, it sounds delicious. What did you get in the nacho helmet? I assume some sort of meat. No, not you. You
Well,
don't
not
get
me,
the meat,
but they
That's
did
right.
have the meat in there. But it was like a cheese, but it was like a gourmet cheese sauce, and it had like jalapenos and some beans and some tomatoes.
And how much was it? $32?
It's $28.
$28.
It's ridiculous.
Just south of 30.
When
nice
I bought my
beer.
drink and it was $45, and I was like, I am dumb. Like this is why I have money problems, because I just spent $45 on this.
Here's the best transition we're going to make all year. Speaking of dumb, did you see Anthony Bass's tweets yesterday on the plane? Did you see this?
You're in the dumb category? Is that where you're at with him? Are you in the he's a dummy?
I'm a parent. So as a parent, I'm responsible for my own children most of the time and things that they do. If any of my children have an entire giant bag of popcorn in which they open, and then that it gets everywhere, I'm going to make them pick it up first and foremost. If I need help, I will ask the flight attendant, do you have something that can help me clean up this giant mess that my children have made? Because they're my children. I'm teaching them to be responsible and not entitled. If you missed this, run to the Twitter machine and see this, because this was the subtweets of this amazing, and the retweets and quotes were amazing.
But I'm not going to have if it really was how it was laid out, I'm not going to have some stewardess or anybody talk to my kids like they talk. That's my only problem. Because I agree. My kids were very cognizant of what's going on.
But why did it get to the point where she had to say something?
Maybe because it was sitting there. Yeah, all of that is reasonable.
Well, because other people were saying, oh my God, there's popcorn all over my stuff, and I'm sitting in here trying to get it.
I would not have gotten to the point where, like you're saying, my kids would have left all the popcorn and everybody has to, and they have to do that. I would have not gotten to that point, because I completely agree, very cognizant of what's going on around me, but would also not have a stewardess come up and throw a bag up and be like, you're going to pick up every piece. No, you're not going to talk to me like that, or my kids. No, and I'm saying kids like that. This is a 7-month pregnant lady with 2 kids.
Yes,
and they brought the popcorn over.
Right, but here's where Dad steps in.
Well, Dad wasn't there.
Says, "Oh yeah, I'm on it." Right.
Well, Dad wasn't there.
He wasn't there, so she was just traveling with the kids.
She was traveling alone. Okay. A 7-month pregnant with 2 kids. They brought the kids popcorn. The kids spilled it, and they're like, "Here you go. Here you go. Go clean this up. You're going to clean every little bit up."
I was a stay-at-home dad of multiple children, multiple small children. All I can tell you is I've never been pregnant. That's not something that I'm sure that makes it very difficult. But you know what you're getting into when you do certain things on a plane, when you have certain stuff on there. And you better be prepared for whatever the consequences of all those things, because it's a small space that you're sharing with other people publicly. Anthony Bass needs to calm down.
I agree, but maybe stewardess also, you give a big giant bag of popcorn to 6-year-old, 5-year-old kids. There's probably
bought it in the they bought it. They bought it there.
Okay, then we're hearing different stories.
He tweeted the picture of the bag.
I heard the stewardess brought it to them. I heard they brought it to the kids. Yeah, on the plane.
Not bring no airline brings popcorn to children.
That would be a nice airline. Okay, I don't know. Either way,
I could go for some right now.
The only thing I care about is how the stewardess would talk, because I completely agree with everything else. But I
agree. There's a way to do things, but it also, the minute, having just been on a plane to visit you and cousin Donnie out in Arizona, if something fell, my first thing is, hey, pick that up. Right? And
well, you and I are pretty on it. I got to see.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like, hey, pick that up. Let's teach everybody some respect. And if you're old enough to eat said popcorn on said plane, you're old enough to pick up said popcorn in that plane. It's like that. Did you see that reel of that guy whose cat, I guess, knocked over all of those food things, and he took the cat and he made it with its paws pick up every single piece? It was freaking hilarious. I think Bogman sent it to me. And it's like, hey, you made this mess, you pick it up. It might have even been a live reel.
Did you see on the broadcast? So I think he pitched last night, and they trolled Anthony Bass a little bit, though. They're like, we'll see if he can pick up this game. And
all the trolling things have been fantastic. And we also just hit a new high in people watching live. So don't tell me we don't like the fluff stories around here, because they're fun. But let's get back to baseball. I just had to talk about it. It's one of those things where you go, hey, just handle your business. Do we have to tweet and embarrass everybody? You know how hard it is to be a flight attendant nowadays? It's hard. These people are trying to do the best thing they can. All right. Jeez. All right. Let's move on. 3 up yesterday. Freddie Freeman, 3 for 4, 2 homers, 3 RBI. Great game against the Mets. Unfortunately, they lost. Clayton Kershaw, by the way, tonight, going for his 200th win. We talked about that preseason. So I expect him to get that. If it's something you want to wager on, I think you should. He's at home. I imagine there's going to be a lot of push for that tonight. The Dodgers know it. Everybody knows it. They're playing the Mets. It's a really worthy opponent. You're getting some good numbers out there. Might be a day to go put some money on Kershaw and the Dodgers. Patrick Wisdom clobbered 2 home runs Monday against the Athletics. So Patrick Wisdom playing very well right now. Rich Hill, how about this one? Against the Rockies. How about that one? Who would have thought that was going to come out there? Strike out 7 over 6 innings of 1-run baseball for Rich Hill. The bad yesterday, Kevin Gossman, who we've been talking about, was going to come back to earth because the 1 ERA wasn't going to last. Well, it didn't. 4 2/3 innings, 7 earned for him, 5 Ks. ERA's at 3.65, a lot more likely ERA for him. Vlad Guerrero 0 for 4, 3 Ks. And Kyle Muller, congratulations for the A's. 13 hits in 4 innings, 6 earned runs. I just don't understand, Welsh. It is so easy to just troll the A's. Even the Cubs, like whoever they're playing, you start talking about trolling people at ballparks, you troll the A's because they are just the gift that's going to continue to give. And this is April. What happens when they quit? Like what happens in June and July and August when this team is really just like 50 games under 500 at this point? Like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, when they start picking up like just guys off the street to play second base and stuff like that, I completely agree. You bet against the A's at all cost.
Yeah, it's unbelievable here. The Bellinger conversation is really going here too about people buying in. And I'm looking here on the chat, and I think that when it comes to Bellinger, maybe he has that question too, where we talk about this in fantasy football a lot, where you took a shot on a guy late and he works out, and he's more valuable to you than anybody else because of the way your roster is constructed. Does Bellinger fit that?
Yeah. Oh, I think that was like Kelnick. I think the same thing would have happened with Kelnick. What I've been talking about, like that limbo stage of that middle ground where a guy isn't valuable enough to get what you deserve to get him, and he's more valuable on your team. I think Bellinger kind of sits in that territory. I just maybe I need to dig deeper and see it for a little bit longer, but I played this game for 2 straight years. Now he is showing a few signs in a new ballpark. But I do think he's probably more valuable in the win that he is now. At the same time, though, like I said, I think if someone was buying in, people have turned to Kelnick, people start turning to Bellinger, I will reap the rewards of it. And I do have a share or 2 in keeper that I will dangle out there.
Yeah, speaking of trolling, Trent is right. Bartman Appreciation Day, that's like a walking troll. We talked about trolling at the ballparks. Can you imagine having a whole... I can't wait to see what the giveaways are. The giveaways for that should be like you get an old Walkman. Right, because didn't he have the old school headphones on? He was listening to the game on the radio when it happened. So that's why I think he was really kind of not
probably cognizant. The glasses.
I actually everybody should get the whole Bartman thing.
I think the giveaway should be you have to take something from somebody. Like they're going to hand it out to someone and someone else takes it. Yeah,
that's going to go well. I'm going to take some popcorn from Anthony Bass. And no, I don't think a pregnant woman needs to be on her hands and knees cleaning up. I think that's when you say to your children, hey, pick that up. Here, I'm going to hold this bag open and you put all of them back in this bag and then we're going to throw it out. That's what parenting is. You teach people to clean up their own mess. Old school. Let's go. Come on. All right, let's go make some prize picks, Welsh. You want to make some prize picks? I want to make some prize picks. Let's do that. And if you want to make some prize picks, I suggest everybody go out there, download the app, use the promo code leading off. Again, 100% deposit match up to $100 when you use the promo code leading off. So use it. It's good for you. Make some prize picks. It's fun. We've been doing very well here. Yesterday, of course, I got tempted by Jacob deGrom, and that should have been the signal that things are going to go wrong for Jacob deGrom. When I finally went in and invested, that's when you knew things were going to go sour. So, Welsh, let's pull ourselves out of the sour into the sweet. What do you have for the people today?
All right, on the prize picks, I'm going to give you 3, but I'm going to give you a 4th. That is calling me if you would like to do it. It depends your level of risk. Number 1, give me Wander Franco fantasy score over 6. Yes, sir. Wander always a pretty decently safe bet going up against Nick Lodolo, though, which they have not performed. But Wander hitting over 370 against lefties this year, which is absurd. So it's a good one. Adley Rutschman scores 7.5. I love that because you get the walks entitled in it, and he loves to walk. He's an OBP machine. I am going, this is a fun one. Lodolo and Taj Bradley, no runs first inning. So that's an intro. We're going to talk about that in just a second, that Lodolo strikeout number. But I'm going to go with Lodolo and Taj to not give up a run in the first inning. And that's my core 3. If you want to get a 4th, This one is, I think this is trolling me, and I don't know 100% know what to do with this guy today, and I'll tell you about the other bet on it. The fourth bet you could put in is Sonny Gray. His fantasy score is 24.5. He has hit this in every but one start so far this year. His strikeout number is crazy low, so I don't know what to do with it. But if you want a fourth, fantasy score 24.5 for Sonny Gray for my fourth prize pick. So Wander fantasy score, Rutschman fantasy score, Lodolo Taj to not give up a run in the first, and then maybe the fantasy score for Sonny Gray.
All right. Here's a question from the chat before I get to my prize pick. Spencer Graves. Hey, guys, I'm going to be picking up Tyler McGill, Tyler the Terrible. Toss up between dropping Reed Detmers and Hunter Green. Thoughts? I don't want to drop either of these guys for Tyler McGill. This is a crazy thing to do. Plus, Hunter Green could even go on the IL in the next 24 hours. I understand wanting to stream, but this is very short-sighted, I think. I think you hold on to both of those other pitchers. Don't you agree, Welsh?
Without second guessing. There's no chance.
Friends help friends, not drop Reed Detmers and Hunter Green. That's what we do here. We're friends. All right, today for me, Spencer Strider on the prize picks, 8 pitcher strikeouts. I'm going to go above that. San Diego's offense has been not good. Let's just be honest. And of course, right now, Fernando Tatis Jr. is just tearing the cover off every baseball he sees. You know he's going to go ice cold, right? Because as soon as he gets up to the big leagues, he's going to be like 0 for 14.
Come on, Joe.
It's going to happen. This is the nature of the game. This is what it is. It's like when Trey Turner couldn't stop him, and now it's, now we're in the season, and he hasn't made the show one time. We haven't talked about Trey Turner one time in 18 days. I don't know why. We just haven't. Clayton Kershaw, pitcher strikeouts, 5.5. Again, I'm targeting this game here for Kershaw with history on the line for him. And Javier Baez. I mean, sometimes they're not all overs. They can't all be fun, but 6.5 hitter fantasy points. I mean, is there a walking under more than Javier Baez right now? I mean, let's go. Javier Baez under all day. Let's get to some of the bets we've got going out there too. Yesterday nailed another upset special. So that's continuing to crush those. So here's your next one to crush along with it. Put the Braves and the Cubs on the money line together. Keep it simple. If you want to add the Dodgers to this, you can. Again, more variance, the trickier it is. The Mets are a good baseball team, so it becomes a little trickier. But the way the Padres have hit, with the way Blake Snell has pitched, the way Strider has pitched, I'm going with the Braves. I'm going with the Cubs. My God, the A's are bad. That gives you plus 179. You can go ahead and add the Dodgers to this and do a separate one if you want and have some fun. Maybe put a smaller unit then, just because you're adding more variance. But I think it's a fun one. Dre Jameson, 3.5 strikeout total. The over on Betting Pros. Take that. Nick Lodolo, again, 5.5 strikeouts. The over. Now, the juice is strong on both of these, so you got to put it with something else. But yesterday, we nailed that Diamondbacks win. That was good times. And Corbin Carroll actually had a walk yesterday, much to the chagrin of the Welsh. So it was crazy times there for Welsh. Welsh, in terms of wagering, what do you have for the people today?
All right, I'll try to be quick. I know the internet is going nuts. I'm going to make my internet company pick up my internet like it's popcorn after this.
Yeah, pick up all this internet that's been dropped. Yeah, it's pretty bad today.
I am going to lose it on them. All right, so I've actually got that Dre Jameson and Nick Lodolo. When you said put it with something, put them together. That's what I'm doing. I put them together in a strikeout parlay. It is the 3.5 and the 5.5 plus 171 you get, and I actually 2-unit bet that one. So just beware. I've also got an Adley and Jordan hits parlay. Get just one hit for both of them. You can get just a little bit over even money. I'm also doing a Jordan total bases over, which is even money. And for looking for just a game bet, Angels, Yankees over in the first 5. Over runs. It's 5 runs. Jose Suarez, Clark Schmidt. I'm going to go with the over runs on that one through the first 5. Those are my bets so far today.
And someone trolling me in the chat created a Max Muncy account. Hey, Joe, howdy, Joe. Any thoughts on my year so far? Yeah, it's great. You're really good against the Giants. And I know you hit a home run yesterday. Big deal. So what? So what? When the batting average stays above 200 for a season, we could talk again. But I like that. I appreciate that people love this show enough to create accounts on YouTube just to troll me. I love it. Trolling has been the theme of today's show, which is, unexpected and fun. As we were talking about, those being at the ballpark, and like I said, my friends and I would always do the opposite. We would find somebody that we loved and we would just over cheer for them. True story. We were at Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where I used to coach baseball and play up there. And a bunch of us coaches went out one night to the game. It was the AA Mets at the time. They were playing the AA Cardinals. We got to see DJ Dozier and Jeremy Burnitz and guys like that back in the day. Got to see Jim Thome play there too, the High Sox before when he was playing with Cleveland. But there was this one catcher named Jaime Garcia, and Jaime Garcia couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat, but he had a hose, man. This guy had an absolute cannon, and he threw out 2 guys that night, and we were just going crazy for this guy, going crazy for Jaime Garcia. And he got up there, and I want to say he was hitting like Max Muncy level at the time. But we got up there and we were chanting. We were like in the 3rd row and we were chanting for Jaime Garcia. He got 2 hits that night. One was an RBI double, if memory serves. And after the game, Jaime Garcia came up to us and gave us a ball and was high-fiving us. This guy, this young guy who, I don't know, he never made it to the big leagues, obviously, because he didn't hit very much. But we were like, Jaime, throw one from your knees. And he would throw it from his knees in warm-ups to second base, like Benito Santiago. It was amazing. It was the best time. I wonder what Jaime Garcia is doing right now. And no, it's not the pitcher. He didn't become a pitcher. It wasn't that Jaime Garcia, but he probably should have been a pitcher. Continuing on here with the DFS, Sonny Gray tonight, 9.8K over on FD. You can also pick on Nate Eovaldi as well, or not pick up Nate Eovaldi. 9.1 for Eovaldi, 9.8 for Sonny Gray. There's going to be a lot of chalky pitchers on the board today, Spencer Strider being one of them. So having a Spencer Strider lineup is not bad at 10.8. I thought yesterday was going to be best Jacob deGrom lineup wins. It was looking like it would be. Could be best Spencer Strider will lineup wins today. Strider. I don't know why I said it like that. Spencer Strider. I don't know.
You got your Spencer Strider here.
I'm going in on this Yankees Angels game tonight at the stadium. I think that's going to be fruitful here. Get some lower rung pitchers in that game. You got Atlanta, got some value there tonight. Neto, by the way, is just 2.2K. Anthony Volpe, 2.8. Welsh, let's get your home run call of the day. What do you have?
Total basis is Yordan Alvarez because I'm going with him for the home run call. Yordan Alvarez. We got to get on the damn board. I was going to do Marcus Semien yesterday and I didn't. And he had a homer. It'll never happen. I'm telling you, I don't think I'm going to, I don't think I'm going to hit my age in homers this year on the home run call, unless I,
all you need is one tear. You just got to get on a hot streak. You're a slow starter. You know,
I did start really slow last year, but I did get into the 40s, I think. So, Yordan Alvarez.
Here's a good one too. Now it was against the A's, but Hayden Wesneski. This is from King CNS. Is he a keeper right now? Obviously, no, like keeper. Like in other words, we're holding on to him right now after that start. I think yes. I'm going to give this guy a little bit of a leash. I know it was the A's. I know he was good against the A's last night. It was the A's, but Wesneski was a guy that we both liked. Do we think this is the turnaround for him, or is this just a blip on the radar?
No, I think he's going to be jolty the whole year. I think that's the type of guy that he's going to be. But in deeper leagues, dynasties, I would keep Wesneski. If it's like short keepers in a 12 team, he might borderline cuttable.
I think we should do, this is kind of, Trent is picking up on this. You should see if we can go a whole year without Welsh picking another home run. Ooh. That's interesting too. Can you pick every single night and be wrong?
But see, I think I could. I think I could pick like, the Luis Ariz and stuff like that. Maybe, you know what? Maybe in May we should start that where you and I also pick our anti-home run of the night and see who can win that.
Now we're just making up things to boost your confidence level.
Yeah, that makes me feel good. I'm going to be great at this game. I'll actually probably be awful at that game. I'll probably get more homers in that game than I do the actual one where I'm trying to get guys with homers.
That is correct. That is the correct answer. My home run call of the night, Shohei Ohtani. That's right. I'm going into that game very much at Yankee Stadium tonight. I like that one quite a bit. If you're looking at the home run board right now, still BHB Daddy up to 9. And in prime time, Larry C at 8. So everyone's trying to pick up BHB Daddy right now. That is a good thing. Don't forget, everybody, if you want to do the home run contest, because people have been asking me, how do we do it? Go to fantasypros.com/chat, join the Discord. It's free, but upgrade to premium. You have to be a premium subscriber. It's free to get in Discord. It's free to chat. It's free to talk baseball, all that stuff. But if you want access to more channels like the Home Run channel, you got to go ahead and go premium. You can leave a comment below and be a subscriber of our YouTube channel. That's a way to get into the free giveaway we're doing in April. But if you don't want to be that one person, and you want to make sure you get it already and just beat Welsh, you can go in today, get 2 home runs right, and beat Welsh. That's it. fantasypros.com/premium. That's the way to do it. And don't forget, when you're premium, you also unlock everything when it comes to my playbook, the lineup assistant, the waiver assistant, the trade analyzer, the league analyzer. Manage all of your teams in one app. It's free. Download it today. Check it out. But again, premium users get even more access to those things. Again, very excited for the double dip today. Love the doubleheader baseball. Any other questions here lingering in the chat? I'm going to take a look at real quick too, because certainly there's been some questions going on. Let's talk about the Padres, because I saw that one come up too. What's going on with the Pods right now? It's just a matter of, you get Tatis back in, sluggish April, maybe some tricky schedule. They played the Mets, they played the Braves, they're playing some tougher teams here. Do you think that things get right for the Padres? Is it time to buy guys like Soto and Bogarts at this juncture?
I kind of think it might be a time to buy Soto. He actually complained, if you just saw, he was complaining about the speed of the clock that's affecting him a little bit. And I think that might be something once he adjusts is going to be really well, plus more protection with Tatis. I think Soto's a buy. I don't know about the rotation. I don't know. Overall, I think they're a slow starting team here, but Soto is actually I think a big buy right now.
All right. Speaking of big buy, this is the best comment we're going to get. We're going to leave on this high note. This is from Hugh Morris. Hearing Joey P thought he would have the body type of Gilbert. Instead, he's jacked like Goldberg. So there you go. This is why you come to the YouTube channel, to make sure of these things. You put the faces to the names. That was fun. That's a fun comment. Everybody knows I am a big wrestling guy. So there you have it. So enjoy your baseball today. Go get your prize picks in. Make sure you do it with the promo code leading off. That's the way to do it. And that'll do it for us. The story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.